How you doing, YouTube? SWinger70. I'm driving home from work. It's a little earlier than normal, but I started work early this morning. So I wanted to share a little story with you. It just happened today, and it's not the first time this has happened, but it's the first time that it's happened since I've become much more passionate about firearms, firearm rights, Second Amendment, blah, blah, blah. I work, for those of you who don't know me, I work in a city in the southern part of New Jersey called Camden. And Camden, New Jersey has been neck and neck, back and forth between first and second place with Detroit as the number one most dangerous city in America. And every year we're either number one or number two, but we're hardly ever, not that I can remember, beyond that. I have worked in the city of Camden for 20 years. And in 20 years, I've seen my fair share of shit. Working in the hospital there, I've seen my fair share of shit within the hospital confines, and I've seen an equal amount of shit outside of the confines of the hospital. As the first and or second most dangerous city in America, I guess you can assume that I see guns, knives, drugs, you name it. Well, today I walked out of work and I'm going to the elevator to take me to my car in the parking garage. And as I'm walking to the elevator, I can see outside. And there's police, hospital security, all surrounding a couple of people who apparently tried to come into the hospital with guns to try and shoot somebody who is currently a patient. But our security, along with the police, were able to thwart that initiative. Thank God. But now that's the state of New Jersey. I don't live in New Jersey. I live over the bridge in Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia in the suburbs. And in the state of Pennsylvania, I can conceal carry. I can conceal carry my defensive rounds. And I can do it pretty much freely, with the exception of within the Philadelphia city limits. Whereas if I'm going to carry, I can carry open. But you can't conceal carry within the city limits of Philadelphia. That's fine. And I'm sitting here now, I'm driving in my car, and I'm leaving work, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? What if security didn't get to that guy quick enough? What if they got to them 5 minutes later, and maybe they would have been getting into the hospital? Maybe they would have been approaching the hospital while I'm walking out to my car. What if I would have been the first person that they encountered trying to come into the hospital, and they would have tried to do something to me? Well, if I was, say, not even a mile from my particular hospital, on the other side of the bridge that separates my state from my work state, there wouldn't have been much of an issue, because I would have taken my gun out and I would have protected myself. But because I drive from Pennsylvania into New Jersey, I can't even bring my gun with me. Unless I'm going to a range or a gun store or a gun show or something firearm related in the state of New Jersey, I would have to have my firearms and ammunition locked and stored appropriately in order to travel through the state. I'm not even allowed to have my gun in the car, in the parking garage, locked, just going to work. So I leave it home. And it's the most ridiculous scenario that you can imagine happening, but today was a very grim example of how it could certainly happen, especially given the city I work in. I am happy that we have a Second Amendment supporting president and a member of the Supreme Court as well, NRA supporters. But now it's just starting to get a little bit timely, where if something's going to happen with regard to nationwide reciprocity, I think it needs to start happening now. And I'm talking about a little bit more than just a bill that's been drawn up for review. I think it's time that bill start getting put on people's desks and get signed. Enough is enough. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who lives in a state and works in a different state where the gun rights and rules and regulations differ so dramatically. All that being said, I never felt more unsafe and unprotected than I did today. And I think I'm more sensitive and conscious to it because I've been carrying now since I've been living in my state. And I'm not unfamiliar with New Jersey. I was born and raised in New Jersey. But I can guarantee you I didn't even look in the rearview mirror when I left it. Now, enough is enough. I have every right to feel safe. I have every right to know that when I'm leaving work in the most dangerous city in America and go into my car, which has been shot at before, I like to know that I can take care of myself as best as I can in the absence of the police who'll take another 10 minutes to get somewhere. Not their fault. They respond as quickly as they can, but I'm already there. And I'm not going to give anybody any trouble, and I can tell you that 100% of the responsible gun owners out there in this country wouldn't give you any trouble either. We have to take our gun out and we have to use it. We're going to stand there and wait for you to come. We're going to hand our weapon over to you so you can inspect it, investigate it. We're going to answer your questions because we're responsible gun owners. Now, I've ranted about concealed carry, reciprocity, Second Amendment, I've even had my negative attitude regarding certain Second Amendment right people going out there and being a little extremist about their right. But I'm going to tell you this. I didn't spend time in the military and work in this city for as long as I have, protecting and helping save the lives of Lord knows how many people. And of course in the military, helping to defend an entire nation. I didn't do all that and don't do all that to come out of my place of work to go home after a hard day so that a couple of punk-ass bitches, whatever you want to call them, can try and reap havoc on me. And it could have very easily been me, or any one of the 50 some odd people walking out to the same elevators that I was walking to. The only thing that separated a dangerous situation from a catastrophic situation was the quick response of the security and police department. God bless them. Thank you. But it doesn't always work out that way. And I guarantee you, if you look at the statistics and you look at the news and you read the papers, 9 times out of 10, the police were on their way. I'm not a cop. I don't want to be a cop. I respect the police. I love the police. They deserve all the positive recognition that they get. Every single cop. But if you're not there, you're not there. And it's not your fault. But there is somebody at fault. It's the people in charge of dropping these rules down on individual states, on the gun owners, and it's the government. And if they're going to work to try and get this nationwide reciprocity a done deal, I think they got to start working a little quicker. Because that's when you're going to start seeing responsible gun owners start taking matters into their own hands and say, protecting myself and anyone around me is much more important to me than the negative repercussions of breaking one particular state's law. In other words, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Now, I'm going to continue to follow the rules, but I'm getting itchy. And I don't like getting itchy. Ever since I've been carrying, I've been a much more aware, conscious of my surroundings type person. I do look at people twice, sometimes 3 times. But nothing made me want to bury my head and hide today more than the fact that I was unprotected and I felt unsafe. So as I said before, I will continue to follow the rules and regulations on a state-by-state basis. But I'm getting itchy. Let's get this to happen. Let's get it to happen sooner than later. We've got the proper people in place to get this to happen. Let's make it happen. because I'm getting itchy. Y'all have a great day. I'll check back with you soon. Shoot straight.